Good evening, everyone. Are you able to see my screen? Hello. Okay. Okay. So yesterday we were talking about like descriptive level programming. So next, which are the remaining topics we have under VB scripting? That one we will discuss once framework implementation done. Okay. So today we start up with like different types of frameworks and how we develop framework in real time scenarios. Okay. So before start, yeah. Oh, right, right. I'm sorry. Yeah, right. Okay, okay, right. Good point. Yeah, okay. I will come up with the descriptive level programming once again. Okay, okay. So when you go for descriptive level programming, is like you don't have application letters also. Okay, so you are recruited as automation tester, but that is a very startup project, let us assume. So if that is the case, what you have to do, so for getting that application ready and get stabilized, it will take minimum 6 months or something like that, right? So by this 6 months of time, what you will be doing, you cannot sit idle and get salary, right? So what you can do at that point of time is like, is there any way to come up with the automation even though you don't have application? Yeah, exactly. You have application. So how exactly you can come up is like through descriptive level programming. So descriptive level programming is nothing but like excuse me. So normally while recording, what QTP does, uh, it will be uh, recognizing the objects uniquely and stores into your object repository. So then while running, again it will refer object repository for identifying that object and perform operations. But here you don't have application to record. So what you do is like, so manually you will be entering the object properties for identifying any of the object. So that means like while recording, QTP will take care everything like identifying any of the object and get stored into object properties in your repository. But now application is not there. So how you come up with how you will pass properties to your script? So that is what you have to understand means. So first initially let me record. So here nothing I'm doing. What I'm doing is like uh, I'm passing properties manually for identifying any of the object. So property name and property value. So that is how you can pass values. And you have recorded, okay, now in the script you have recorded, right? If I go for like object repository, you will see objects here in your object repository, right? So now I'm going for like new test, I'm not saving. Okay, so then I copy here, it's not copying, your object repository. That's what happened. So now if I execute, because of I passed properties manually, so it will execute. So run. Here it was provided only one property. Why means it has provided unique identification. But in case if it doesn't provide unique identification, then you have to pass multiple properties. So how you'll pass, like this is normal object identification mechanism. So like this, what is the other property? Something HTML tag, HTML ID, or something like that. You can pass it up. But remember, you have to divide two properties with the help of comma. That is how many properties you want. Those many properties you can pass. Any questions before moving further? This one you will consider it as like static descriptive level programming. Okay, so exactly another way you can come up is like dynamic dynamic descriptive level programming. So how you will come up here is like username. So here remember my class or class name, anything you can give it up. Whatever the way you feel comfortable, you can go for. But remember sometimes some my class may not work, and if you pass class name it will work. So one is not working, try another one. So but purpose, both of those purpose is same. But sometimes really why it doesn't work, really I'm also not sure. I have to check it out. Okay, so Here nothing I'm doing, just what I'm trying to do here is like for browser. Okay, I'm coming up with one object. With the help of that object I'm trying to pass properties. But here you may get confusion like okay. So here if you remember, browser, I come up with one object. Exactly like that, page, I come up with another object. Exactly if you go for but you may get confusion like here page, you come up with one object. But here web edit, why you are coming up with two objects? The reason behind this is like both seems like edit boxes only, but password is of type like password box. That is the reason I come up with separate for both of those objects. Then web button sign. Okay, then web button sign. So now this one you will consider it like dynamic descriptive programming. Remember as of now, like if you use description dot object like that, once you create object and through that object if you pass properties, that is what you will consider it as like descriptive program. So if I execute now, it should work. The only difference between like static and dynamic descriptive programming approaches is like static descriptive programming, you're directly passing properties through line, that line is saved, but here you're creating object and passing properties. As usual, like here also two properties you're passing. These two properties doesn't provide unique identification means you will go for adding another property, that is the way. So which property you have to add like HTML tag or X coordinate or Y coordinate, something like that. Okay, X coordinate, some value you will pass it on. So that is how three properties also doesn't provide one more property like that. You will keep adding till those properties provides unique identification. Okay, so that is how you will come up with your dynamic descriptive programming. Okay, so here another important thing, browser you have, right? You have object browser, my class browser you are giving. So here you have already browser, right? See here my class name web button you are passing. So web button here you have already exactly like that. Edit box, if you take password, edit box, you here you have again you are passing. So that's why that uh, this one you can give optional, it's not mandatory. So even I have commented, so still if I execute this script should work. Okay, so this is another thing you have to remember. But it's always best practice whenever you go for descriptive programming, my class also try adding, that is the best practice. So this is how you will come up with like your descriptive programming. But what are the advantages and disadvantages of descriptive programming? If you talk about it like advantages, so the advantages is like hmm, okay, so without having application itself, you can come up with your automation framework. That is one major advantage of your descriptive level programming. So you have to normally what I did here is like I recorded, then I changed. But real time, how you will come up is like you will go for object spy, and even at the time you don't have application, right? So if you have application and you have to come up with the descriptive programming means you type you with the help of object spy, you spy for any of the object. Here it will give you properties, then property name. If you select property name, it will get display here like property name and property value. And remember another important thing, you are going for descriptive level programming means instead of typing property names, it's always best practice to copy. Why means, see, whenever you see here, you may not see spaces, but sometimes developer may put that object property with leading spaces. So if that is the case, your script will get failed. So to avoid this kind of confusion is always best practice to copy from your object spy window. Okay, so here I told like application itself not there, then only you go for like implementing descriptive level programming. But really that is the concept that descriptive level programming they come up with, but really people are not going for. But if you want to come up with, you can come up with, but how you will come up is like with the help of high level design as well as low level design documents. Okay, so high level design and low level design, if you take there, they will be mentioning like objects, properties, everything. With the help of those documents, you will come up with developing your automation framework. But once you get your application, you may get a chance to modify your script. Okay, this is another important point you have to remember. So then advantages if you go for descriptive level programming, so if you don't have application, still you come up with your automation script development. That is one major advantage of your descriptive level programming. Then another advantage is like uh, programmatic skills will improve. So your programmatic skills improves. Another advantage is like object repository you won't be using, so script size tremendously reduces. So this is another advantage of descriptive programming. Then disadvantage if we go for normally real time, people don't go for descriptive programming for whole framework. If you want to come up with, you will come up with, but the thing is here is like this is very simple application, so I come up with very easily within less time. But if it is complex application, you have to identify any of the object or application means you may do R&D. So there, that means like this is one drawback of your descriptive programming. So the drawback is like scripting will be time consuming, and sometimes execution also time consuming. Okay, scripting execution also time consuming. Another disadvantage is like in order to come up with a descriptive programming, technically strong people require. Okay, so these all are the disadvantages of your descriptive programming, and these are the advantages of your using object repository. So these are the different things you have to remember. Okay, so then you may get a question like here you are directly passing property names and property values, but here just only the thing is like description object you are passing. But what is the difference? Here also you are passing statically, both static and dynamic. Then what I get is the difference? Yeah, So for time being, you accept this is the stuff, but dynamic descriptor programming is nothing but the these properties you don't pass directly here, but how you'll pass. So you'll be passing through XLS file or some another way. That is what in your framework types you will come up with different types of frameworks like keyword driven, data driven, modular driven, okay, then linear framework. These are the different types, hybrid framework. So there, keyword driven framework is one framework. So there I'll be showing you like how exactly it works, how exactly you'll be passing properties through your Excel file, and how you come up with your automation test script development. So that is what during framework implementation I will be explaining you. So this is nothing but like static and dynamic. So in real time, people were really using descriptor programming. If you ask, uh, real time people were using, but not like 100% of the application. But while recording, you may come across issues, right? So in order to resolve those issues, people were using descriptive level programming. Okay, this is nothing but your descriptive level programming. Any questions, anybody? Okay, just observe how I'm coming up with code. Then I will show you like then I will explain you why I come up with and Excuse me. Let me check it if works. I will show you. I will explain you. Perfect. Okay. So my requirement here is like this is the real situation, real problem we came across when we were in some project. Okay, so that is civil application. In that civil application, so even though it is civil application, some portions like site map or something like that, they were developed with the help of web-based application. Okay, HTML code they were used. So there we come up with one link, but that link QTP unable to identify. It always faced issues. So at that time, what we did is like this is the approach we were resolved. Okay, this is the approach we followed for resolving that issue. So here my requirement is like I have to click on about Gmail link, let us assume, but your QTP is creating trouble. Okay, so my requirement is I have to click on about Gmail link, but QTP is creating trouble. So at that time, how we resolve it, like the simple logic here I have implemented is from this page you get all the links. What are the page you have? So from this link, bring all the links. Okay, this is one link. So this is as create an account also, QTP treating it as link about Gmail, something like that. Then all those links text you try to verify. That's what I'm doing. See here, so my class equal to link, and all the links, see, this is the what is taking web element. So class name web element is taking. Exactly, if I go for like edit boxes, what is taking web edit. If I go for push button, okay, what is taking web button is taking. Exactly, if I go for link, sorry, if I go for link, what class name is taking link, right? So with the help of see, some objects should, all links should be having some common properties. Okay, another point, if I take like HTML tag, so this is web edit. HTML tag, what is taking, you see, HTML tag input is taking. Exactly, if I go for like sign in button, what is taking, HTML tag input is taking. Exactly, if I go for web element, so that one is taking it as web element. HTML tag, what is taking, p is taking, p. So exactly, if I go for link, if I go, so HTML tag, what is taking, yeah. All the links, if I analyze all the links, if I take HTML tag, what is taking, yeah. See, HTML tag yeah is taking. So that means like all links have common properties like my class and HTML tag. Okay, with the help of those two common properties, I have created one object, and browser dot page, from this page dot child objects of type object link, of type object link. Okay, so all those links got saved in the object like object links. So this is what how I'm creating is like with the help of type like object. I'm creating one object. So object links dot count. How many links got stored in that object? It will give you the count of all links. So I'm displaying here total links. Array always starts from 0. That is the reason I'm starting from 0 to n minus 1. Then what I'm trying to do here is like get repository object property, get arrow property of inner text. Each and every link inner text I am reading, I am capturing. See, about Gmail, if I go inner text here, you can go for like inner text or inner HTML, whatever you feel comfortable, anything you can go for. Okay, so then exactly if I go another link, inner test, what here is checking, you see, inner test or inner HTML cannot access your account. So like that, I am getting inner text for each and every link. That is what I'm storing in the with link. So if object link equal to about Gmail, click inside and click on that link. Okay, once you click at that link, you don't want to reiterate once again. So exit file. That is what I'm doing. The logic is very simple. Okay, so which are the links I have in that page? I'm capturing all the links with the help of this statement. Here, browser.page.child objects object link. Child objects of type object link. That means in that page, which are the objects matching these two properties gets stored into object links. Then links.count. Don't get confused. This is str link. This is object links. Okay, so if str link equal to get out of a pattern test. Okay, so then object link about Gmail, if it matches, it will come inside and perform click operation in that link. So I'm executing. So total links it found 11. So first link found, create an account. See, this is nothing but like create an account. Okay, so okay, so is str link create an account is equal to about Gmail? No. So 0 plus 1 it was incremented. So link str object links of one that get our property, so cannot access your account. Your second link here it found is cannot access your account. So is cannot access your account is equal to about Gmail? No, it doesn't match. So I value get increment 1 again, so 2. I value now 2. So object link of 2 get our property of inner text. So what it will give? Learn more. Third link it found learn more. So yesterday link you have learn more. So learn more is equal to about Gmail? No. So I value you have 2, so it will get increment 1 with 3. Object links 3 of get our property. Okay. So here what you have? About Gmail. So about Gmail it was returned. So about Gmail is equal to about Gmail? Yes. It will come inside of the loop. Object links up I click, it was performed. Once you click, then you don't want to iterate once again. That's why exit for a hack. If you iterate once again, what it does? The page got varied, so it will throw you error. Be careful. Okay. So that's why as soon as whatever the operation you want is done, then you don't want to reiterate once again. So this is how you can come. See, now I come up with the object with the help of links. Tomorrow you want to come up with edit boxes, something you cannot come up with, similar way you will come up with. So web element, web link, child objects of that object you will get which object you want to do. So browser.page.set or object link object web better of set what text you want to set. If you understand this one, any of the object you will come up with. So we still have test objects in our VB script. One topic will come across, so at the time we'll be explaining other test objects like web edit, how you'll create push button, combo box, list box. Very high level we come up with. So but it's not really required. You understand this topic means really you can come up with in your own. So just practice it out. This is very important topic. Okay. And another important thing, see, these days if you go for interview in automation front, very common question you will come across like which are the issues you faced, how you resolve. Remember, this is the very good answer you can tell. So you can say like in your application one link, or you can create like that one edit box was there, QTP always creating trouble. So at the time I only in the team resolved the issue. So how we resolved is like this is how we come up with the child objects object. So this is the code you can explain, you'll get very good impression. Okay. So issues resolution, this is very common question you will come across. So remember this topic and explain. Do you understand? Any questions on this one? Anybody? No questions? Okay. So no questions means we have still 15 minutes. What we do is like we start up with like framework types. Okay. So in our QTP, we will come across like 6 types of frameworks. Those are nothing but like linear framework. So this is very basic framework. Then modular framework. So then data driven framework, data driven. Then we go for like hybrid framework, hybrid framework, keyword driven framework, and these days famous framework is like PPT framework. Okay. So these are the different frameworks you will come up with, but famous framework is like hybrid framework, and these days people who are shifting to like BPT framework. Okay, we go one by one. Linear framework. So this is very basic framework, and during starting days of your testing, people were implementing this is the kind of framework. So also you will consider like record and playback framework. Means what are the manual test cases you are having, those test cases you just record and excuse me, little bit enhancements or modifications you do, then you go like whenever you get release you'll be executing those test cases against latest release. This is that's why you're calling it a like record and playback. Okay. So which are the manual test case you are having, you'll be recording, and bit enhancements you'll be doing. Whenever you get release you'll be executing against that release. So that is the reason you're calling it a like record and playback. Excuse me. Also you're considering it a like linear framework. So these days nobody is going for like linear framework. During starting days of automation only people were going for. Then modular framework. Modular framework is nothing but like in any of the programming language you go for means like which are the repeatable steps you need to be performed again and again. For those repeatable steps what you do, you will come up with functions, right? Exactly. Even in your automation also, which are the repeatable steps you are having, for those repeatable steps you will come up with reusable actions, and those reusable actions you will be inserting it into main scripts. So that's why you are calling it a like modular framework. That means modularity you are implementing. So main test cases you will take. From those test cases, which are the repeatable steps you are having, for those repeatable steps you will come up with like reusable actions. For those reusable actions so you will be inserting it into main scripts. That means like reusability you are implementing. So modular framework also you can consider like reusable framework. So today you are coming up with automation means people who are definitely going for like modular framework only. so so for another team I have implemented this is the framework. So framework is nothing but like you may think about like some tool or something like that. Really it is not. So according to your convenience you will come up with different folder structure there. Everything like reusable actions will be placing into actions folder, main test scripts will be placing into test scripts, like that you will be coming up with. So this is what you will be considering it as like reusable framework. Sorry, framework. Normally very high level framework, how you can define it as like there is nothing. So a systematic way you will come up with automation for a specific project. A systematic way, a systematic approach you will follow for a specific project to come up with automation for better management and maintenance purpose is nothing but framework. Systematic approach, a systematic way in order to come up with automation for a specific project is nothing but framework. Okay, means like some folder structure. So any of the framework if you go for folder structure looks like this. It's not exactly, not like you have to come up with for every project 3 3 6 8 9 9 folder structure, and same folder names you have to use. There is no restriction like that. Looks like this. However you feel comfortable for your project, you can customize. Okay, so here all reusable actions you'll be placing under actions folder. All functions, so you have to launch Internet Explorer means you come up with one function, right? So that function, those all those kinds of functions you'll be putting under like function library folder. So inputs, how you'll be passing test data to your framework? So XLS files, right? So those XLS files you'll be mentioning under like inputs. So main test scripts here you'll be placing. So master driver. Okay, so master driver drives whole of your automation framework. Then recovery scenarios you'll be placing under recovery folder. Object repository, there are two types of object repositories: shared object repository and per action object repository. So shared object repository you'll be implementing these days for most of the, not most, 100% of the project. So at that time you'll be placing shared object repository here, and results it will get generated, right? Summary kind of and in detail kind of report. So those results will get generated here under results folder. Okay, so help, so like all supporting documents, standards, framework related, process related, all those documents you will be placing under like help document folder. Okay, so this is the folder structure for most of the projects or frameworks you'll be following. But remember, important thing, looks like this, not exactly like this. If you want to come up with like this exactly, you can come up with absolutely no problem. Okay, so then within this folder structure, if you remove inputs, excuse me, okay, let us assume you don't have inputs folder. That means reusable actions folder you have. That is nothing but like your modular framework you will consider it as. Modularity means reusability you are implementing, right? So reusability means reusable actions you will be placing under actions folder. So except inputs folder, in your framework you have all other 8 folders you have, means you will be considering it as like modular framework. Exactly. Then data driven framework, the name itself telling you like your framework is driven by data, is depending on data. Mostly one framework you come up with, so the same framework you will be using for executing in multiple environments, like development environment, production environment, manual testing environment, automation testing environment. You want to execute in manual testing environment, manual testing data if you pass, that is fine. If you want to execute in production environment, production test data if you pass, then it will execute in production environment though. So how you will handle? With the help of inputs. So under inputs you will be having one Excel file. In that Excel file you want to execute in production test data you will be passing. Okay, so that means here data is driving your framework. Each and everything will be implementing. So at that time you will get clear picture. As of now you try to understand like theory. Okay, so in this folder structure, if you remove test actions and including test inputs, that means like test actions, if you remove, how many folders you will come up with? 8 folders again. So test actions if you remove and inputs folder you are incorporating, means this is the kind of framework you will consider it as like key like data driven framework. Okay, so data driven means data you'll be passing. So how you'll be passing? XLS file. So XLS file you'll, where you'll be placing? Inputs folder. That is nothing but like data driven framework. But these days most of the applications you take, for any of the application you will come up with reusable components. So that means modularity you can come up with, that means reusable actions. And can you tell me any application like not depending on data? Gmail, Yahoo Mail are like that. Most 99% of the applications depending on data, right? So like inputs folder require, right? So most of the like today you are coming up with framework, means it should be like containing both reusability as well as depending on data. So that is nothing but like hybrid framework. Hybrid framework is nothing but like both modular driven Combination of modular driven plus data driven is nothing but like hybrid framework. So all these folder structure you are having in your framework, both like test actions and inputs, both the combination of test actions plus inputs. So that is the kind of framework you will consider it as like hybrid framework. Remember, these days most of the projects coming up with like implementing hybrid framework. So what we do is like, if possible, what we do is like Salesforce dot application, Salesforce.com. Take a note. So for that one, each one of you create some dummy account. Tomorrow I have to start up with class means you should have ready with your accounts. Okay, so you can create your dummy account with the salesforce.com application and give it to me. So tomorrow we start up with the framework implementation for this application. If you want to come up with any other application means, very well you can come up with, even for that one itself we'll come up with. But here the main important thing is like one application. This is very good ERP application. This is a good application to come up with framework really. Okay, it seems like your real-time application only. That's the reason I come up with. In case you have any other applications means, even that one also you can come up with. You are planning to put up in resume some application, come up with. For that application itself we come up with automation. But Salesforce, I will suggest. But again, if you wish, so if you want to come up with Salesforce means, just create some dummy account 30-day trial version. Okay, so create and give it to me. Tomorrow we'll start up with the framework for this application. Okay, so remaining two frameworks we have, right? Keyword driven and modular driven, keyword driven and PPT. So that is what, once we develop framework, you will get clear picture about like how you can come up with framework. Then I'll be explaining you like keyword driven framework and PPT framework. You will understand clearly. Okay, so this is nothing but like your descriptive level programming as well as different types of frameworks. Any questions, anybody? I have already recorded, right? All I sent it across. uh, Automation, I think I have shared all of you. Ashwini, you see, manual testing recorded sessions you got, right? That day itself, you could have got automation recorded sessions also. How many mails that day you got? Uh-huh, oh, is it? The thing is like, yeah, I agree with that. But what I'm saying is like, these are your recorded sessions, but another batch I have already recorded, right? Those one I could have sent already, but this is your second set. First set first set all recorded sessions for including automation I have shared. Check your email, that day you got recorded sessions like manual sessions. But this day, this not one email. How many videos I have shared, those many emails you could have got. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. That means you got all that emails you have means you got already. Right. Yeah. That's what I mean. No? So that means you have already access those emails. You go through. Okay, that is one set. So again, I am sharing right your classes. That is second set. You understand, right? Okay. batch. Right, right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. See, the thing is like you first understand requirements you don't want to come up with. You understand what are the document you got it. Okay, one by one, page by page, and come up with creating test case. Some template, what are the template they are following? You grab that template, or they don't have any template as of now. Means how you want to create your test cases? I mean, like Excel or Quality Center, like that. They are using any tool. Oh, even that is also no problem. So there you try to understand how you will create test case. That see quality center or whatever the tool it is, similar steps you will be following for creating test case or and okay, Inflect or something you are saying, right? There itself you will be creating test case, manual test case. I mean, so there itself you directly come up with them. Then for creating test case, they should have some standards. If they don't, test bed is nothing but like test lab. Quality center you are getting test lab, right? That is nothing test bed. So test bed is nothing but like test case also you can consider. Test bed is nothing but like test cases, execution results, test plan, everything. So they mean as of now like you can come up with creating test cases. That means like standards, that means like is freshly you are coming up with creating test case or how it is. That means see, you come up with understanding that tool first, show me once, then I will tell you like how you will come up with creating test cases. Okay, very high level you grab information about that tool. Okay, then and understand the functionality, then I will help you in creating a few test cases initially, then you will come up, right? Okay. Yeah. You don't want to install, that is web based application, just create account, dummy account. Yeah. Okay, any more questions? Okay, that's fine. Thank you so much for your time. Okay, have a good night. See you tomorrow same time. Okay, thank